Janice, come on, have some. Oh, she can't hear me with that thing on her head. This is really tough. Dad, could you help me with this?
What is it, dear?
It's my math. I'm having so many problems. Well, what is it, Janice?
Hi, I'm Mike Connors. You know, it's amazing how we learned that the one thing we take so much for granted, the idea that our homes are secure, is sheer nonsense. In a matter of seconds, this security can be lost to bedlam and heartaches because of two dangers that are always with us no matter where we live today. The twin dangers of crime and fire. At any moment, a criminal could come through your door.
Oh! Jeffrey! Is that you?
Hi, everybody. I'm home. I got a hat trick. I broke my best fit. Well, that's great. Yeah, it was pretty good, man. How'd you do it? Well, I come down the right sideline. And, guy comes in front of me like this. So you scored 3 goals, huh? Yeah, on the last one. Yeah, I tried to check me into the line.
At any moment, because of this cigarette or a short circuit in that stereo, a fire could break out. Okay, so you have a homeowner's insurance policy. That pays for the stereo, the TV, or your house, the material things that could be lost or damaged. What I'm talking about specifically is fire and how it affects human lives. These lives. What pays for them?
Kicked him in the ankle with my skate, just like you said there. It really worked, too. I used half and everything.
What would you do if your house caught fire? Think about that. Because in this country today, fire occurs with such frequency, you have to think about it. Here, for example, in just minutes, the Johnsons will die in a fire, right in their own home. And the flames and smoke won't be responsible. They'll be asphyxiated by superheated poison air. What do you think will cause this tragedy? This cigarette? No. But they have caused many fires. Ashes behind a chair cushion or on the rug. The television set with 26,000 volts stored up on that picture tube. Yes, it could cause a fire. As a matter of fact, it's one of the leading causes of fire in the home, sometimes causing fires even when the set is turned off. But you know all the obvious things. You've read them in the fire prevention manuals, right? Wiring behind the walls, washers, dryers, air conditioners, the heating system, and don't forget the fireplace, too. All are possible causes. But this fire, the Johnson's fire, will start right here in this innocent-looking electric clock. In just a few minutes, this clock, with its thin plastic body, will have a problem in the motor, the kind of problem that could occur in any appliance in your home. The Johnsons, like most people, associate the danger of fire with flame. They picture it spreading from object to object, room to room. They think they'll smell smoke or hear the crackling of flames, but they're wrong. So wrong, it's going to cost them their lives. You see, people can be suffocated or asphyxiated in their bedrooms without awakening, without the flames even leaving the room where the fire started. The electric motor in this clock will malfunction in 10 minutes and overheat. At 5 minutes to 12, it will ignite a bit of dry dust in the clock housing, and in a short time, this room that the Johnsons just finished decorating will be a charred and blackened ruin. Seconds after the spark, the clock will burst into flames, and the flames will spread to Mrs. Johnson's new curtains. The curtains are thin, and they'll catch fire easily. The flames will lick at the walls and the newly stained finish on the window frames, producing toxic gases. Part of the curtain will burn away and drop to the floor onto the rugs and couches. And in just 2 minutes, fabric will be flaming, and cushions will be smoldering, with heat and smoke rising rapidly above the fire. And just like the heat you feel when you place your hand over a barbecue grill, that's exactly what will be happening here. Most objects in our homes, rugs, curtains, drapes, wallpaper, yes, even newspapers contain chemicals and dyes. And when they burn, they give off many toxic gases, poisoned air, superheated poison air, creating deadly gases like carbon monoxide. It's this superheated poisoned air that causes death and destruction. It comes in contact with Well, this lampshade, and pow, it burst into flame. Or the sewing that Mrs. Johnson was working on. That's gone too. And in just a few short moments after the start of the fire, there'll be several fires all burning out of control, all adding their own superheated poisoned air, rising above the fires to the ceiling, mushrooming out, constantly seeking a way upward and outward, rushing across the ceiling to this stairwell and into the air conditioning and heating ducts, continuously working its way to the top of the Johnson home. From there, it can go no higher. Bob Johnson insulated his home very well. In silence, that superheated poisoned air will build back down again. A blanket descending and spreading with incredible speed over the heads of the sleeping family. The Johnsons, Janice, and Jeff. A few more ticks of time, and Jeff, who's not yet sound asleep, will be the first to discover that the house is on fire. He's a pretty big guy and a good athlete, but he won't stand a chance. He'll sit up in bed ready to give the alarm, but that cloud of poisoned air will be right about here. His head will move into that cloud, and when Jeff inhales to give that first verbal warning, now you can see why the danger from fire is not so much from the flame itself, but instead from the extreme heat, toxic gases, and smoke produced by the fire. Most authorities agree that you only have 4 minutes after the fire starts, not after it's discovered, to escape unharmed. For this reason, time. Anything that will slow down the spread of fire and burning action, even if only for a minute, increases your chances of escaping or being rescued. A closed bedroom door provides just such a time-gaining barrier. For the Johnsons' bedroom located at the far end of the hall, the Johnsons will have just a little more time than their son. A few seconds after Jeff tries to warn everyone, Mrs. Johnson tries the same thing, but she gets up out of bed. Standing Mrs. Johnson comes to about here on me, and the superheated poisoned air in the room comes to about here. Now, she will manage to waken her husband, and he does live a few moments longer than she does, because instead of jumping up, he rolls out of bed. But he makes the mistake of putting his head to the floor. Unfortunately, there are chemical gases there too. You see, some plastics give off heavier than air gases that settle close to the floor, leaving a very narrow safe zone of about here. Janice will be awakened by a sound. The thump she hears will be Jeff falling to the floor. From the bed, she'll switch on the lamp and see smoke coming in from around the bedroom door. She'll realize the house is on fire. The closed door will prolong her life, stopping much of the poisoned air from entering her bedroom. The intense heat is in the hall outside her door, but Janice won't know that. She'll pull open the door and, frightened by that blast of hot air, will instinctively drop to her knees. Amazingly enough, she'll be able to crawl a few feet into the hallway. She'll be found lying right here, near the stairs. Oh yes, a few minutes ago I asked you what caused this tragedy. I mean, what really caused it? The clock? So what do? Get rid of all clocks? Do away with electricity, air conditioners, washers, dryers, all our conveniences? Of course not. It's obvious that the clock is not really at fault. The cause of this tragedy? It's apathy. Apathy on the part of the Johnsons themselves. And you, and me, and anyone else who is so foolish as to believe it can't happen to me. It can happen to you. And if you choose to ignore that fact, you're just courting disaster. That's why it's so important we admit to ourselves that our homes are possible places for tragedy. No matter how careful we may be, fires will still occur. With thought and common sense, you can plan ahead to lessen the danger and do something about it. What? Let me show you. A good many fires can be prevented. You know, like oily rags and accumulated newspapers, improperly stored paints and gas, matches left around for kids to get hold of. We have to first reduce these fire hazards. Second, unless very small children make the idea impractical, sleep with bedroom doors closed. A closed bedroom door gives you an extra margin of time. And time, as we have seen, is more than important. It's vital. If there's one rule of life safety to remember, make it, when a fire strikes your home, gather the children and get out immediately. No exceptions to this rule. No stopping. Just get out. They should not be done in panic. You must devise and practice an escape plan. You must know what to do and where to go. Your escape plan should provide 2 ways out of every room in the house, so that if the best route is blocked, you can use an alternate. Never, never rise up to a standing position if you suspect a fire. Roll out of bed onto your knees. Remain in a crouch, keeping your head roughly 3 feet above the floor. That should keep you below the descending superheated poisoned air and above any possible heavier than air gases. First, feel the door, reaching as high as you can without standing. If the door is hot, don't open it. When you do open the door, brace your foot against it, open it a crack, and feel the air coming in. If it's hot, slam the door shut. If the air feels safe, stay on your hands and knees and leave by your primary exit, making sure that all other occupants are alerted and able to leave with you. And if there are several of you who have to escape through a dark or smoky area, hold onto each other's hands or clothing. If it's not safe to leave your bedrooms, shout through the door for the others to remain where they are.
Dennis? Jeffrey? Stay calm, but don't jump up. We have a fire. Crawl through your window. Open it a few inches and breathe the fresh air. I'm trying to get you, okay?
Okay, Dad. I'm all right.
Me too, Dad. Don't worry about us. We're okay.
If you must leave through a window and you don't have escape ladders, don't jump. Hang from the windowsill by your hands to shorten your fall. And if you have to break glass in a window, drape your bedclothes over the sill to protect yourself from jagged glass. Once outside, get a ladder from your garage or from a neighbor and rescue the others. If there are infants at home who sleep in a crib, don't stand up to take them out. From a crawling position, tip over the crib and remove them that way. Above all, don't stop to call the fire department from inside your house. Just gather everyone together and get out. And be sure to close the door behind you, making sure it's not locked. That will keep oxygen from getting in to fan the flames, but will allow the fire department to get in easily when they arrive. It's essential to have a pre-established rendezvous point, someplace outside and safe, where everyone gathers as soon as they're out. Only when you're sure that everyone is out should you go to a neighbor's house and call the fire department. And never go back into a burning home unless you're sure someone is trapped. You can get even more detailed assistance on your escape plan from your fire department. They're there to help you. And also, get a hold of one of these. Now, this brochure, prepared by the International Association of Fire Chiefs, is a step-by-step guide. It could save your life by helping you plan an escape from the dangers of fire. But knowing what to do is one thing. Being alerted to the fact that you have a fire is another. That's why it's important to install a fire detection and warning system, keeping in mind there are many devices on the market and many levels of protection available. It makes sense to buy the best system you can afford. A quality alarm system should provide emergency standby power, so it will work under any conditions. It should have the ability to warn you in case any part of the system malfunctions. Most important, your alarm system should be able to quickly detect both smoke from a smoldering fire and heat from a flaming fire. Your alarm system should be able to sound a loud signal, loud enough to be heard throughout the house, loud enough to awaken everyone who's asleep. It's an added plus if your system has the capability of sounding an outside alarm as well. An alarm that can alert neighbors or passers-by. This is particularly important if there are small children or invalids left alone at any time. Remember, a quality system like this will be the difference between a false sense of security and true peace of mind for your family. The Johnsons had been warned of their fire quickly by such an alarm system. They may have had those precious extra moments needed to put their escape plan into action. No matter how careful we may be, fires will still occur. Will you be ready before it strikes?